starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
Show. And we've had a bit of technical problems.
We've had a Hamer moment.
That's right. And unfortunately, Miles is suffering from severe John Hamer tonight. With and
Make the best of it.
yes, and I think he's suffering from Swedish naughty films because he's got lips. Yeah, when I always had the lips out of sync, so it says "Good morning."
Dubbing.
So it's bad dubbing. So he's suffering from bad dubbing tonight. Now, first of all, there's a couple of call outs here, and the most important one is this Sunday at 4:00. Debbie T. Duda. Yes, with her very own live show at 4:00 this Sunday. Please support Deb. Cue advert.
Oh, got it.
Excellent, Deb. And let's all support Deb because you're going to have 1,000 subscribers within a very short time, I can assure you.
I hope so.
Let's tune in. So it's 4:00 this Sunday, and that's all way back there. You're doing it solo on your own.
On my own. Well, it's not. It's a pre-done video that I have made, but yes, I shall be in the chat.
Brilliant. That's excellent. That's great. Right now, also this Monday I will be back we'll all be back. It'll be Deb, Michelle, and myself, and we're going to be doing the water test, which is a quite interesting one. And
that doesn't mean we're going to be drinking our own urine.
No, we won't be doing that. And also we'll be doing an experiment on it, and we were talking about, was it a little dicky down below?
Yes.
But it's not what you think it is. There's nothing rude. And
Oh.
Miles has just got off. Hang on,
The
what we got?
man's disappeared off the screen.
Oh dear, Miles has gone. Do you think we could wing it for about half an hour talking about acupuncture? It's got needles and you stick it in, but he's going to talk about diet, isn't he?
Yes.
Yes. Do you think we could wing it for a while? Do you think people will find out that we don't know any much about diets? Possibly, yes. I ate a lettuce leaf the other day and I put on massive weight. Does lettuce make you put on weight? Well, I know there's about no.
Half a slice of cucumber, mate.
Oh my godfathers, no. So what we're going to do to get Miles back? Oh, he's back. He's back. Oh, he's frozen. Yeah, you're back. Blimey, he looks as if he. I think he needs to go to Abbey Health Foods to.
Hello.
Hello. Are you there, Miles? Are you with us? Shall we hold a séance? Oh dear. Right, Miles. Can you hear us loud and clear? Shall we all hold hands? And are you there?
I can hear you.
Right, get talking.
I can hear you.
Right.
Okay.
Right, straight into it. Here we go.
Hello.
Hello. Yes.
Hello,
Right.
everybody. Right, Tonight's talk is about diet, but I want to go through a few fundamental things, and that is why, as you probably all know, we go on diets, and we all anyone that's tried a diet must have tried a diet that doesn't work. And why diets don't work is quite an interesting subject, because in my opinion, all diets should work, although it's completely the wrong thing to do is to count calories. The thing, first of all, is that we should be looking at the biome, the gut, and how the gut is actually responding to how the gut bacteria are responding to what's being put into the gut at that time. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
We've got two computers on, Miles, and one's trying to compete with the other one. Oh God, here we go. Actually, his second one, his second screen looks better, doesn't it?
It does actually, yeah, clearer.
Yeah. Shall we try and add him? No.
Right.
Right. Shall we
Right,
remove him?
muted
One?
Yeah.
No, he's should I unmute him?
Okay. Which is the one that...
No, Miles, you've muted it.
Hello?
Hello? Right.
I'm back.
You've muted your microphone on the other channel because you've got two computers there. Yes,
Okay.
we now got a lovely view of your armpit. That's lovely, right?
Yeah, I know.
Right, we're taking that one.
Hold on just a second.
Oh, we
Right.
got you loud and clear now. Now, we did say
Nightmare.
we did say that his Chromebook had bit the dust on
Yes.
last Monday show, but it's been resurrected thanks to your positive thoughts.
Right,
Are using a better?
can you hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you. We can see you. Diets. Go for it.
Right, the iPad has been put to bed because the Chromebook decided it wanted to take charge. So here we go. Basically, the diets that we all look at and know about and have probably tried have a tendency to fail quite regularly. And why they fail quite regularly is because of the fact that they're not used in the correct way. Now, when I say that, what is the correct way? Well, the correct way is the way in which the biome wants you to eat and wants you to digest. What is the biome? Well, the biome is the culture that lives inside the digestive tract, and it comprises of bacteria, fungi, parasites, and viruses. Some of which are, well, none of the parasites are good, but some of which are helpful, some of which aren't helpful. If we get that biome into the healthiest possible state that we can get it, or close to it, you'll lose weight without any problem at all. If it's weight that you're after, you'll also be fitter, healthier. You would ever be by just taking a calorie diet. So this biome, it's how do you get it right? Well, you get it right by eating the right things, and you get it right. It's quite a task to make it work efficiently for you. Some idea, the gut has. So you've actually got about 57% of the entire cell count in your body are the cells that are in your gut that actually aren't human. So that's a strange place to start. So how do you get these things to function better? Well, that's an interesting proposition, because you've got about 39 trillion if you're reasonably healthy. And if you're larger, you'll have a few more. If you're smaller, you'll have a few less. If you have IBS or any of the Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis, these things will make it work even less efficiently. So it will make it harder for people to get into good health and to into a diet that, the whole idea of a diet is to enhance health. It's not, in my opinion, it's not to necessarily enhance health. The microbes are in the gut, they food, and they help you get the foods that we've consumed. For example, inside the gut, if you haven't got the right gut flora and fauna, it's unlikely that you're going to be producing enough B12. So we have to ask ourselves, what is the right stuff? Well, the right stuff is variation. That's the word I would use. I'm going to talk a little bit more, so don't give up yet. I'm going to talk a little bit more about diet. Variation is biome.
Oh dear, we've lost Miles. I think the Chromebook idea with the dodgy charger has always dropped right out. And oh dear, what a shame.
Oh, dearie me.
Well, we have a show with Miles and John Hamer on together. That would be fun, wouldn't it? Right, I think the only thing we can do, I've got my phone on, is then removing, putting back on. We're just getting interested, but I found that he was cutting out every couple of moments.
Yeah.
I think I better phone him, and I think we better go back onto the iPad. Is the best idea.
Was it the iPad the one that is switched off?
Yeah, I think that was probably better. So let's give him a phone call. I was just you got to laugh, ain't you? All right.
Oh dear. It was like Norman Collier.
That's right. Oh, he's back again. Hello, Miles. I think we need to go back to the iPad because the Chromebook is.
I'm setting up as we're speaking.
Okay, I'll bring them straight off. Okay, bye. Yeah, I mean, let's face it. I think it was John in Science, right? It's a lot funnier when things go wrong. Right, here we go. Now that's better. He's frozen. Can we hear him? Now let's all join hands. Are you there, Miles?
Yay.
Hey, at least is he upside down?
He's upside down to me, but it's fine.
Yeah. Join hands. I'll spell it out with the glass.
Right.
We'll join hands, and I'll spell out what I'm trying to say with the glass. Okay.
Okay. Well, you said it like Norman Collier before, so
Yeah,
when you talk about darts, I think you better start again because it's and then and I with your dart you should and then so I don't think they got it. So far again.
So can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes.
Can anyone hear me? Yes. Okay. So
far away. Go on.
Very quick recap. 57% of the cells in the body are from the gut or found in the gut, and they're non-human. So you're actually more of a colony than you are of a human being. You've got approximately 39 trillion cells or microbes living in the gut. It's a huge number, 39 trillion. They include bacteria, fungi, viruses, parasites. They all play their role. Parasites are not wanted, but the others can be positive. Viruses are normally not positive, but certainly the fungi can be, and the bacteria can be. So every time you take a drink of alcohol, or every time you're taking certain acidic foods, it will have a tendency to kill off some of these. And even with the alkaline foods, if they're alkaline enough, that will kill them off as well. So the answer to getting the gut biome right is mainly twofold. Firstly, variation. You should be looking to have about 30 different types of fruit and vegetable per week. So if you have peas one night, you're not going to have them another night. You're going to have some broccoli, you're going to have some leaves of some kind, apples, you're going to eat bananas, you're going to eat oranges. You've got to mix it up. And then there's some very fundamental things. There's some really, really important things. And these very few of us eat in our society. And these are the good fermented things. So the good fermented things are the one that I consume the most, for example, is kefir. Kefir is a dairy-based drink, so it's not suitable for everyone. The second one that I consume is sauerkraut, and you have to be careful which sauerkraut you actually get, because you need a sauerkraut that's not been pasteurized. A lot of sauerkrauts have been pasteurized. You need to check this beforehand. They're as much good as eating very heavily boiled cabbage. They're even as good as a coleslaw type cabbage. So check that. You can get it in the Eastern European continental shops, and I'm very, very helpful to work with. They've actually said, "Oh, don't have that one; it's terrible. You know, have this one. At least it tastes good, and it's not pasteurized." If you know people who are making their own, some Eastern Europeans, they normally are the ones who make the sauerkraut. They may be generous enough to give you some culture to start it, in which case you can start it. But you can start your own without the culture. It's not such a big problem. You can either culture it from some crystals you can get online. You can actually just ferment the kraut in a vinegar to start off with, something like an apple cider vinegar with the mother, and then slowly but surely add more sauerkraut, and it will get less and less pickled and more fermented. Don't take the mother out, whatever you do. You need that mother in there. So then the last one, I don't like this stuff. I can't understand how the Koreans eat it. Kimchi. It's actually very, very good for your gut, but for me it tastes terrible. I don't know. Maybe I'm never going to be a Korean. But that's also very good for the gut. Of all of the three, that's probably the best one for your gut, actually. So other people do have other fermented vegetables are very, very good for this. Very good. And even you may have heard of a did the round some years ago, and it was called kombucha. Kombucha would be another thing that would be good. Kombucha would aid that gut bacteria to grow and establish and get a good footing. So why is that so important? Well, if you can't digest your food, and if you can't break it down, and then you get constipated because you haven't got good gut biome, you're never going to lose weight. In fact, you'll probably put it on and you'll retain fluid as well. So that's the reason for that. If you digest it, you'll find that and eliminate the waste products, you will find that you'll be in much better health. The other thing with that is that it can help health so much that if you're diabetic, well, certainly a type 2 diabetic, but probably some even type 1s, you'll find eating the fermented foods, having great variation, you'll probably eliminate your diabetes. You're not allowed to get cured with diabetes, but you'll eliminate your diabetes. So that's the first starting point. And this is why so many diets go wrong. You've got to prepare the ground. It's like anything. If you do the preparation work, the work comes out as good. If you're doing some build work, you need to put down good foundations. It's that same principle. You've got to do the work beforehand. So then let's move on to my favorite type of diet, and that's what they call a food combining diet. You could actually introduce a food combining type diet with this same set of products. Now, food combining, why do we food combine? Why do we throw out starch when it's with protein? Why do we throw out protein when it's with starch? I suppose you could ask that question as well. And why are there certain times of the day to eat? Well, it's phenomenal. The human body has developed to digest proteins in the morning. And probably the reason for this is that man, so we're told, was a hunter-gatherer. And as a hunter-gatherer, he would have not been good enough to catch prey during the day because he's one of the slowest animals on the planet, actually. He would have relied on stealth, and he would have relied on cunning to catch these animals. And so one of the ways in which you can do that is dusk and dawn hunting. And with dusk and dawn hunting, you can go out there, catch your quarry with the other members of the tribe to help you, take your quarry back to the camp, divide it up and eat it. If you didn't divide it up and eat it at that point, well, then you would be liable to wolves or hyenas, it depends where you are, doesn't it? Or the big cats coming and stealing your prey, even bears, polar bears would do that with the Inuit, for example. So they would want to eat it pretty damn fast to get rid of the smell of it and of the fresh kill. Animals smell blood very, very easily, and they smell it miles off the carnivores. And you wouldn't want a great big predator in your camp, so you would eat it as soon as you got it back to camp, or as early as possible. So your digestive tract is designed to eat meat in the morning. If you're vegetarian, the convenience of this is that meat is basically protein. So you would eat your nuts, your beans, your pulses, the pulses such as quinoa and amaranth. You'd eat those in the morning. You'd have those as a morning meal. The fact of the matter is we produce a lot more stomach acid. I have heard it said that we produce up to 200 times as much stomach acid in the morning. I find that a bit hard to believe, but I have had that number bandied about. So that means we produce more, or certainly it favors eating the starch in the evening. So a diet that I would suggest for a food combining type diet is to have something like some fish or some chicken or some meat in the morning, and just that. It sounds strange, but just that. Kick out the cereals. The cereals will pile on the pounds because you're not digesting them properly. And then for lunch, you have, again, some protein, maybe a bit of fish again, or maybe egg or something along these lines. And you'd have that with a lot of vegetables. So smaller, the size of it would be more than enough protein for you for the time. And then have that with a whole array of mixed vegetables. And you can steam those, you can bake them. The choice is yours. I would resist frying them though, because frying them can change some of the chemical compounds inside the vegetables. Now, vegetables are an interesting point with this. The vegetables can be digested in either an acid-rich environment or an alkaline-rich environment. So basically, we can have those at any time of the day, and we can eat them quite freely. So I suggest having some with your lunch, a fair quantity with your lunch. Then in the evening, you would have, again, a big plate of vegetables with perhaps some rice or some other form of starch like potato or something along those lines. This will be digested better in the evening. It will sustain you for the last part of the day because it gets digested quicker, protein. So you'll digest it fairly quickly and you'll go to bed with a relatively empty stomach, saving all of those problems of acid reflux that some people suffer. So that's got a brief overview of food combining. The other diet that I'm intending talking to you tonight is the intermittent fasting. What was then? That wasn't very clever, was it? Now, intermittent fasting relies on being very strict with the foods that you're having and the times you're having them. It's been found that if you eat in a smaller window of time, you can actually get just as much calories in you, but because you're having them closer together, you actually digest for a period of time. The digestive system gets a rest, which is a good thing for the digestive tract, and you likewise, but you actually don't pile on the pounds because the body can't put on the poundage from the same number of calories shorter space of time. It will just reject them. So if you're that way inclined to look at the food combining, the intermittent fasting, then what you would do is perhaps have breakfast at 9 o'clock if you can leave it that late, and your dinner in the evening at perhaps 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. That would reduce down the actual time that you're spent digesting. You won't, like I say, you won't be able to pile pounds, and you can get even more radical with this. If you wanted to, you could go down to about a sort of 6-hour window of eating, and you'd find that the pounds would fall off. Other diets tend to be calorie counting type diets, and that's why I'm not so keen on them. But no one's actually come up with this yet, but another way of doing it would be to mix the food combining with intermittent fasting. I'm sure that would work tremendously well. So I think we're more or less there. If anyone's got any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Okay. Well, actually, sorry, Deb, you're going to say something, but was you going to go into chat? I was going to say something about kefir.
You're not going into chat yet. Shall I carry on?
Well, no, I was going to actually sauerkraut and kefir, but do you want to go? Should we go into, what do you think, Deb? Should we go into chat and have a quick look?
Yeah, we've got a couple of questions, I think.
Okay.
Or comments.
Yeah.
Aunt Sally saying, who drinks their own piddle? What does Miles think of that?
Is it in bad taste?
Piddle? What does Miles think of that? I think he's taking the piss, but there you go.
Me too.
Yeah, there are people who drink their own piddle. I haven't ever tried it, and I don't think I ever want to, really.
No.
It's not an area I'm looking at.
Not top of my list either.
Come on, give it to someone you don't like, couldn't you? So, wine brew this, you know. Have some of these.
Come round for a drink.
Cheap out the drinks, isn't it?
Ruby's saying one cannot mend the gut unless we stop eating processed food, which is becoming near impossible for the people. I heard too many vitamins are giving the gut false positives too.
That's a good one. That's a good
near impossible for the people. I hear too many vitamins are giving the gut false hope, false positives too. Okay, let's look at that. This is an interesting question because someone actually came and asked me this today. Not today. Earlier in the week, and they were saying to me that multivitamin tablet was too strong and that they didn't want that many vitamins. That's it. Unfortunately, it's a bad way of thinking like that. What you've got to think of is, have you got enough vitamins to satisfy the needs of your body? With most of the vitamins, your body will actually regulate them extremely well. So, yeah, you can overdo it with some. One of them that you can definitely overdo it would be iron. And iron is it's a mineral, but iron can do some permanent damage to the circulatory system and the heart. And yeah, you've got to be a little bit careful with too much iron. Even that though, if it's non-heme iron, so if you're looking at vegetable type iron, what the body actually does is it stops the absorption or slows it right down. It doesn't stop it. It slows the absorption of the iron right down. So if you're eating a very high iron based diet. So with heme iron, it's the difference between heme iron and normal iron or elemental iron. Elemental iron is found in vegetable matter, and I'm sure that people must know which vegetables hold the most iron. I mean, a really good idea of how to judge that is the darker it is. Yeah. Normally, the darker it is, the more iron it contains. Apricots are a definite anomaly of that. Apricots actually hold a lot of iron for their weight, but they're obviously not that dark. Pomegranate's another one, but that's getting dark. Beetroot's another one, it is dark. Yeah, these contain reasonably high these vegetable matters, but that's what they call elemental iron. Heme iron is iron that's already been utilized to make and manufacture red blood cells, and it's by far the best way to pick up the health of someone who has anemia. If it is iron anemia and just iron anemia, then there's about 20 different forms of anemia. But if it is just iron anemia, which is the most common, then the heme iron, which is from red meats, generally speaking, is the best way to bring that back up quickly. It doesn't mean you have to stay on them, but as a health thing, I know someone who had their iron level drop dramatically low just recently, and it was found that they were on a vegan diet. They were admitted to hospital, it was that low, and they were on a vegan diet, and there's a resistance against giving them animal products, but to bring the person back up to good health, that's what I suggested. The person is taking some animal products, but not actually that ones in my opinion, but they're still recovering well. That's good. If you get it very low with iron, you'll go into a coma and you'll die. So very low is dangerous, very high is dangerous with iron. It's the only one, as far as I can think, that's that dangerous. You can have large amounts of even fat soluble things. D3, it's a fat soluble nutrient. If you have too much of it, you'll start getting nausea, so you won't want to eat anymore, so you won't eat any more D3. I would hope you wouldn't get to that stage, but that's a kind of way of self-regulating. The same with vitamin A, it gives you nausea. The liver doesn't like it, the liver's where it's mainly stored. I hope that answers about that iron question. I hope that answers about over-vitaminizing. If you don't have enough, though, let's take it that you don't have enough, and let's take it the worst state of soluble nutrient. You can go in and out of bad health because you haven't got enough of a certain nutrient, and but when we measure it, you have, because you've eaten a meal that contains enough of that nutrient. One of the big ones with this, most people are B2, vitamin B2 deficient. And if you look out there, we've got an increasing amount of people having to have cataract operations. have your B2 on a regular basis, you won't need a cataract, or it's unlikely you'll need a cataract operation. It keeps the lens happy. It's a strong antioxidant, and there's other. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not only B2, but it plays a part in it, a major part in it. So keep the water solubles high, even if you don't keep the fat soluble nutrients high.
And also in C though, because you're, I know that if you have too much vitamin C, I remember you saying, Miles, it can give you the Welshes, diarrhea. That's frightening.
Chris,
yeah. Hello,
Chris. I hope you can hear me. I can't really hear you anymore.
Oh,
That's
dear.
awkward.
Oh well, I'm not that interesting anyway. You better carry on, Deb.
But I can't hear you.
Okay, I don't know what. Hang on, let's get. Can you hear me now, Miles? How's that? Is that better? Yes. No. Yes.
Can you? It can hear me. I think.
Right. Well. Okay.
Put them on the screen.
Right.
Okay.
And on the
breaking up.
Right.
Put the questions on the screen.
I think this one's relating to the
right, doesn't make you yes. Well, the fermented foods, yes, they can do. You will actually adapt to it, believe it or not. If you carry on with them, I don't actually get this problem, but maybe I'm eating a balanced or diverse enough diet not to. I can eat sprouts, I can eat beans, I can eat virtually anything. Well, not kimchi, I don't like it, but sour, I don't fart. But there you go. Your body will adapt to it. You will find less and less. If you're farting, it's showing that you've got an imbalance actually.
right.
Because you can't digest properly.
Yeah. Too much gas, man. Right. This one.
Too much gas. Next question.
On the screen. Isn't the food we have available essentially blocking the digestive process yet causing cravings for sugary things?
Right. Sugars. It's interesting this. Tonight I was in I nearly did a bit of advertising there. I'm not going to do that. I was in a supermarket, and the woman actually said, "What do you do?" She was asking I did. And I said, "Oh, I'm a nutritionist." And she said, "Oh, I'm absolutely healthy. I don't need a nutritionist." So I said, "Oh, no, I wasn't trying to sell the idea anyway." And then it depends on your perception of good health, because she then proceeded to tell me how she was a diabetic and struggled with sugars. Well, realistically, we should have a high sugar diet, any of us. And it doesn't matter whether you're diabetic, whether you're old, whether you're young, whoever you are. Refined sugars in our diet, added refined sugars, are a good way to go. Even foodstuffs with particularly high sugar. I love honey, for example, but I have it very, very rarely indeed. I might have, I would get through less than a standard jar of honey per year. It's very, very infrequently that I have it. I have a bit more if I've got a sore throat, and I might have some Manuka honey or something like that to try and sort it out. But honey actually knocks the immune system back as well as the digestive tract. So you don't really want to be taking sugary things as a regular thing. It's not good. So this question, it's gone away. Can I have the question back?
Sorry. Shit. Sorry. I'll find it.
Or
Hang on.
whoever it was. My apologies.
You've
see,
lost it.
Deb got
Never mind.
hypnotised by my
Start
beautiful
off it.
voice.
Hang on, let's try and find it. Where are we?
I'm scooting up now.
It's Robert, I think.
Yes, it was.
Yes,
There
Robert.
it is.
You
Found
got it.
Yep.
Sorry, Robert. Hello. Question for Dr. Fleetwood. Oh, please call me Miles anyway. Isn't the food we have available essentially blocking the digestive process, yet causing cravings for sugary things? Yeah, I mean, some of it is. It's the big problem is that we tend to, for convenience sake, buy foods either pre-prepared or semi-pre-prepared. I don't really do that, I must admit. I really don't. I will prepare all my own food. I believe if you're in a rush, you can prepare food quite quickly. And if you're not in a rush, well, then cook it properly and learn how to cook it. And there's plenty of people out there on YouTube that will tell you how to cook whatever it is that you've bought and want to try it. So cooking is an essential process of life, in my opinion. Everyone should be able to cook. And then you won't have these cravings for sugary things.
I agree.
Yes.
Right. I can take that back off now then.
Right.
Sorry about that. I didn't get to bother.
No, it's fine. Aunt Sally's saying, I've got into fasting. It works for me. It will work to get rid of the fat I put on over Christmas.
Fasting, it works for me. It works to get rid of the fat I put on over Christmas. Well done, Aunt Sally. If it works for you, that's fantastic. You maybe will get on better with fasting, intermittent fasting, or even fasting as full-on fasting. I do get quite, how can I put this? I suppose it's anxious if I do too much full-on fasting. I've tried it. It doesn't really suit me. That's probably because I haven't done enough in years. In all honesty, I think it's one of those things you get used to. But well done, Aunt Sally.
Work for me. It doesn't work for me fasting. I found. You know, that's the problem.
Leading on from that, then.
I think the hold Robert's there because I'm just going to say one more thing about fasting. I think I happen to know Aunt Sally, and if you're very small and she's quite petite, it normally doesn't work. It's normally the bigger people that have more reserves, so they've got percentage-wise less that they're losing in that one diet. Well, I'm 6 foot tall and I weigh about nearly 16 stone, so I should be good at it, but I'm not, because I don't think blood sugars are particularly well controlled. But it's not because of eating too much sugar, it's because I just have a weakness in that area. Yeah. Okay, would Dr. Fleetwood recommend a colonic flush before adjusting one's diet? Oh, now you're talking about things that I love to talk about.
Caloric irrigation.
Sorry?
Is it colonic irrigation? Colonic irrigation, is that what we're talking about?
Well, there was a woman who I think was involved in the very early stages of colonic irrigation in this country, called Kitty Campion, and she had in Belsize Park, which is an area of Hampstead, in the general Hampstead area. And I worked in a clinic. Now, I was the only nutritionist there, and at the time, along with about half a dozen colonic practitioners. And I think it's not a bad idea, but people get hooked on it. It's not a good idea either if they don't put back the good bacteria, because you're starting with nothing. You're washing out the baby with the bathwater. Yeah. And if you're really in a bad state with it, then by all means. But you can actually do it from this end, which is the way to go, by taking I'm going to call a product out in a moment, but by taking psyllium husk, probiotic, prebiotic, enzymes. If you've got acid reflux, some centaurim or some betaine hydrochloride, and do that for a fortnight, and that mix, and you'll find you will have cleared out all of the stuff and more than you get out with the colonic irrigation, and you've populated the gut with all of the good things. The product I'm coming out, and I wasn't intending to do this, but it's called Transipure, and it's absolutely phenomenal. People who've got gut problems take Transipure. It will normally cure it, and it will start you on this building this colony of 39 trillion bacterial gut. It's great for constipation, it's great for diarrhea, and it's great at re-establishing the gut. But you will need to do it for a good few weeks, whereas colonic is fast, obviously. So in my opinion, colonics, while I mentioned the kiddie camping clinic, there was only one practitioner there, and she happened to have also done a course with Vogel, and this, as in Alfred Vogel, and so she used to put the good bacteria back. She was the only one that I really felt was doing the right thing. You've got to check up flora and fauna if you're going to have a colonic.
Yeah. And that stuff that you gave it to me, Miles, it's like wallpaper paste. So if you've got any left over, you put it on your wallpaper, you know, put it up on the walls.
Wallpaper paste?
That's what it's like, yeah. It's like drinking wallpaper paste.
Okay.
I actually did a demonstration, didn't I?
Okay. Transipure is exactly that. Now, what it contains, this psyllium husk that it contains, has somewhere in about 98% or something. It's ridiculously high in soluble fibre. So what that does is, if you're constipated, it packs the stool out with a very soft jelly-like product. If it's very runny, it absorbs the moisture from the stool, so it gets the stool into being formed and formed properly, so you start passing proper stools. The prebiotics condition the gut. They're using inulin in this particular product. Inulin conditions the gut and allows the good bacteria to establish itself and to find a good home and start setting up home with its wife and having offspring, which is what you want from the good bacteria. It's got enzymes in it, so if you've got any undigested food inside your colon, it will digest the food as well. And if you've got, say, diverticular problems, the enzymes will actually digest the stagnation of that food in those diverticular pockets and clean it out. So you'll have a much cleaner, better gut by the time you've finished. So I think that's 5 things. Have I done 4 or 5 there? So it's psyllium, prebiotics, probiotics, enzymes. Oh, and it contains an ordinary fibre as well. It contains a little bit of mixed fibre as well. And not that most people need that. If you're interested in health, you're probably having enough fibre in your diet anyway. You don't want too much insoluble. Don't take too much of it. Is there any more questions?
Yes. Are multibiotics good for the stomach?
Right. Angela's asked the prime question here. It's a fantastic question. Multibiotics are what we're talking about. So yes, they're fantastic, not just for the stomach. There's not actually that many in the stomach, and I'll explain why there's not that many strains in the stomach. They're mainly in the large intestine. There's a few in the small intestine. As we come up the digestive tract, there tends to be less and less. The stomach is just too acidic for these poor little bacteria. They get shriveled up and burnt up with them. This is why you must make sure that you get if you're buying probiotics, you must get probiotics are acid resistant or that are microencapsulated. Either will do. Microencapsulation means that they don't, they're encapsulated, and that capsule only breaks down in an alkaline environment. So once it gets the pancreatic enzymes on, which are alkaline, it will dissolve and start colonizing inside the gut. The best make for acid tolerance, according to a research paper I read many years ago, admittedly, so this may have changed, but the best make was I'm trying to remember, I think it's Nutri, and the We Don't Stop Nutri, and the second make was Quest, and We Do Stop Quest. Nutri are about 5 or 6 times the price of Quest, and they said it only got a better result because it was twice the strength. Otherwise, they were exactly the same acid resistance, those two. Well, if it's 5 times the price, then take twice as many, and it'll only be 2.5 times the price. But you're saving some money with the Quest ones, and we've had great success with the Quest products. Another make that is very good that we've used are Lambert's. They seem to be very good as well. Although it wasn't included in this, it was his health magazine about 10 years ago that was saying that was the order of play sort of thing. Okay. Any others?
Superb. Ancient Ruby's saying, my vitamins are Quest and recommended on here, yet turns my pee yellow, so I stopped taking them.
Does with mine as well. It's nothing to worry about.
Turns my pee yellow, so I stopped. Okay, right. Well, let's talk about that. That's a good thing. In, I think it's Holland, it may be Belgium, I'm not sure, but in Holland, they actually put this with certain medications. They put B2 in a high dosage, purely and simply to make sure that the medication is being absorbed. Now, because the B2 is absorbed from a tablet doesn't necessarily mean that the medication is being absorbed, but it does mean that the tablet's being broken down inside the digestive tract. The pee being bright yellow, I tell you something, Ancient Ruby, I really believe that if you took that in the morning, by the evening your pee would be back to the normal colour. And yeah, that's what they call blood serum saturation point. Very technical question. Technical way of saying that you've got enough B2. So while your pee is that color, your body cannot take up any more B2. So it's doing exactly what I said earlier. It's just peeing it out. But by the end of the day, if you're taking it in the morning, which I would highly recommend for a Quest multi, by the evening, I think your pee will be back to the normal color.
Right.
Which shows you that it's not being stored. You can't store that vitamin.
No, it saves you on electricity because you don't have to put the light on because it's luminous, isn't it? So you save on electricity. There we go. But don't worry, Ancient Ruby. It turns everybody I know that's on Quest. It turns their pee. Don't worry. All right.
Superb. Right. This is the last question. What is Miles's take on minerals such as vanadium, chromium, etc.? Got vanadium?
Vanadium, chromium. Oh, chromium. Yeah, that's what I have.
My vitamin. Oh, what is Miles's take on minerals such as vanadium, chromium, etc.? Chromium, yeah, for blood sugar balancing is great. It looks like Robert might have a bit of a blood sugar problem because he's asking a lot of questions around blood sugars. Vanadium we need in very, very tiny amounts. It's well, so as we do with chromium, but even smaller amounts of vanadium, and they will help balance blood sugars. If you need extra vanadium and extra chromium for blood sugars, then of course I would recommend them. But most people don't. Most people are getting that somewhere near the right amount from their diet and their multi-minerals stroke vitamins. Vanadium is quite a hard one to get on its own. I actually don't sell it on its own. So if you know, if you are taking it on its own, yeah, well done. You found something that I can't seem to find. Chromium, likewise, I do sell on its own, and it is very good for balancing blood sugars out. Yes.
Right. Thank you.
And I take chromium as well. It's good.
One more thing, actually, with that, all of the minerals are stored in the body. They're stored in the skeleton. So let's link this one with ancient ruby. As you can see, Robert here is asking questions, should we be taking it? Well, we should actually be getting it in our diet, and that was the ones that we were talking.
Yeah. Nope.
Oh, about
that.
Oh dear. He's yes. Miles, can you reboot? I think. No.
It's frozen again. Oh,
we're back again. Someone suggested using his phone. We might try that. Yes. I think it was Aunt Sally, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I took it off because I thought the less we've got to ask him, the better. Because obviously, yes. Right.
Anyway, he's definitely frozen. Yes. Well, actually, we're near the end of the show anyway, aren't we?
Yeah, not far off. Right, this is another one. If you can see this, Miles, answer it. If you can answer it, well, you'll be able to answer it. But if we can hear you,
yeah.
I wouldn't say.
Hang on, he's connected to another. Shall we add him to the stream? No, that's not. Oh Christ, he's going to. He's going to another. He's going to another. I wonder. Right. Can you hear us anywhere, Miles? Hello, Miles.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Hey.
I don't know what happened.
No.
My iPad got very upset about it though.
Right,
Robert, you're
right.
Let me go back I think my phone would be a more stable signal. Let's try and carry on. I've noticed people widely promoting large doses of vitamin D. What does Miles think? Again, we sort of brushed on this, didn't we, Aunt Sally? We said that the vitamin D is stored in the liver. Now, here's a little take on it. About 15 years ago, in fact, it may have been a bit longer. It was before I had my PhD, so that's quite telling. I gave someone, I think it was 3,000 IUs of vitamin D3. And I got a doctor write back to me, a local doctor, saying that I was really dangerous and how could I justify this and what did I think I was doing? And he wanted me to review the situation. I did review the situation and I kept 3,000 IUs, my patient. That doctor now regularly prescribes way too much, like 10,000 IUs per day. And I haven't yet written to him, but I think it's quite funny that he's woken up and suddenly realized sometimes large dosage is needed. I don't think 10,000 IUs per day is the right way to go. I think he actually gave 20,000. That's right, he did. I don't think that's the right way to go. I think a moderately high dose every day is better than having a super high dose once a week or whatever. It's a more natural way of doing it. We would consume our foods with the vitamin D in it, and we would get a small amount each day and differing amounts each day. And I think that's the best way to do it.
Right. Is that it with questions, Deb? Because
I'm just putting one up because I was told that if I was taking vitamin D, I needed to take D3 as well, so it absorbed. But now I'm wondering if I need them both together or if I can just have them separately. But I don't know if Miles would be able to hear me say that, so that's why I was typing it out.
You're breaking up a lot,
Right.
Deb.
Wait a minute, let me post this up.
Right. Okay. Actually, Miles, here it is. Do I need vitamin D and D3 together?
Well, Eric von Essex, whoever you might be.
That's actually Deb. Actually, she's done it on my one. Okay.
I realised that. That was my little joke. Oh, never mind.
Ah, no joke. Ah, little pun.
There are 3 types of vitamin D, and D1 is not as easy to process and make into D3. D3 is the animal form of the vitamin D, and it's the form that we utilize. So D is a D. Is D. So yeah, you're asking the same question. The best form of vitamin D for humans is D3.
Right, fine.
The general
Thanks very
rule.
much.
You know, you might find someone with certain weird disease might find that they'd be better with the D2, but I think that's unlikely.
Right. Thank you very much.
The thing I was going to say is that you were talking about sauerkraut, and I made my own sauerkraut using cabbage and salt, and it fermented, and that was that. And you're talking about a culture, because on
Yeah,
top,
you can do that. You can do that.
Yeah, on top tips, I'm going to show you how to make an air thing where you don't get air, because you got to have like a, what do they call it, where you get the air bubbles.
A U-bend.
U-bend, how to make a U-bend out of glass jars. And I can show that on the top tips on Monday. So if you want to make your own sauerkraut, watch on Monday, top tips, and how to make U-bends. See, so there we go. And the other one, kefir, you can get it in all leading supermarkets, but it's in yogurt form. How's your feelings about that? Because it's in a yogurt. Miles? I don't think you heard me.
The yogurt?
Yeah.
You're breaking up like mad. Do you mean kefir? You can have kefir, yes. You can have live yogurt. They're both good. Kefir is probably slightly preferable to live yogurt. But if you're eating live yogurt, it's still good. It's a fermented product and will still help those little microbes to survive inside the gut. So the kefir I'm on at the moment, his name dropping, is called Beautiful, I think. Beautiful, and it's available in supermarkets. It's okay. I don't think the taste is great, but it's okay. It's not offensive either. It's a bit like yogurt, but more liquefied. Right. Any of the kefirs will do, but make sure they're live, obviously, and they're not pasteurized. Oh, and that's quite an interesting point. You can also buy kombucha in supermarkets. However, I've never seen a live kombucha. It's always pasteurized, and it's sweetened, and it's junk. Don't
messed about with.
If you're going to get a kombucha, find someone who's got a culture and make your own.
Yeah.
Also, artichokes. Am I right, Miles, that years ago, I'm speaking right into the microphone now. Years ago, we used to have artichokes we grew a lot of, and potatoes overtook artichokes. And the reason artichokes fell out of fashion is they cause a lot of flatulence. But I did hear that they are absolutely excellent for the gut. And when potatoes came in big time,
right,
we had gut troubles. Is that correct?
Right, there's 2 types of artichoke. There's a globe artichoke and a Jerusalem. That's it. I couldn't remember the name of it.
Yeah, it's the Jerusalem one that I grow. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like a little root, aren't they? They're a tuber.
Yes.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yes, correct. Yeah, I grow them.
I mean, both. You sorry?
I actually I did grow them until the frost killed them off.
Yeah, right. The Jerusalem artichokes. If you remember, I said in Transipure there's an awful lot of inulin, and this is this prebiotic that conditions the gut. That is the main reason that Jerusalem artichokes are good for with inulin and soluble fibers. You've almost got your own Transipure there, but growing it. Go and get some Jerusalem artichokes and grow your own. Yeah, why not? It's very, very good for you. And the globe artichokes are incredibly good at detoxifying fats from the liver. So, yeah, both artichoke are really. I really like the globe artichokes myself. I love the taste of them, but yeah, the other ones are okay. But
Well, the other way around.
I don't think I have a need for it.
And I've never had either.
That's good.
Anyway,
Well, that's just north, less.
No, that's it, lad.
Right. So remember, thank you. I think we can round up at that. Would you like to round up, Miles? You all right with this? I don't think you can hear me.
Oh, it's a fantastic show. I haven't heard a word that you've said, Chris.
Probably improved the quality of the show.
I think my next phone call is going to be to my internet provider and say, get this piece of junk fixed, actually. But there you go. On that
we have
note,
got one last question.
We've got one last question.
We had one last question.
Yeah, far away.
What does Miles think about kombucha mushrooms strained and drunk?
Kombucha mushroom strained and drink. Yeah, mushroom therapy. We're going to have a program on this later on in the year. I intend to, about mushroom therapy. Mushroom therapy it's a very, very specialized area, and I don't want to get people going and getting. I'm not sure. Kombucha mushroom. I'm not totally sure what kombucha mushroom actually is. I was going to talk about things like lion's mane and shiitake and reishi and cordyceps, but yeah, we'll have a show about the healing mushrooms and their healing properties.
Magic.
I'm going to leave you with a little note that doesn't answer anybody's question at all. I'm sorry to say. The Chinese believe that the best mushroom as an all-round general force as we age is actually cordyceps. They take them down. They kill for them. They literally kill for them. They are seen as a very, very special mushroom. Yeah. It's actually because it transforms from an animal product into a plant product, and I'll leave you thinking about that.
Yes, thank you, Miles.
Also, they're good to have at parties. Well, their mushrooms are good to have at parties because they're such fun guys.
Oh,
God. Chris, move away from your microphone. I think you're cutting out because you're too.
Yeah. Well, I'm blasting into it because I thought you couldn't hear me, but
I can hear you now.
Oh, that's all right. That's better now. They're the opposite what I expect.
Go back.
Yay! Well, you can buy these products such as Quest and Transipure from Miles's shop, and remember, it's free delivery within 1 foot of his counter, which is not bad, is it? You know.
We'll tell you.
And also,
I'll tell them how it is, Chris. You back off. This is my business. If you want to order products from my shop, we do mail order. If you spend over £35 with us on health products such as supplements, we will send them out and we'll pay the post.
Ah, lovely.
That's very, very good. And I'll tell you
Thank you.
something. The
Okay.
advice as well is,
And I
is
think-
excellent.
I think the number comes along the bottom, but I haven't seen it at the moment.
Oh, I've had it on.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I've had it on.
People have said in chat about your pea turning yellow with that B2. Oh, it's a bit worrying. Well, no,
It's a good thing.
it's a good thing. And
It's a good
I
thing.
eat beetroot as well. Beetroot and that. I mean, blimey, you got technicolor.
Yeah. There's always an effect.
I have to wear dark glasses when I go to the loo. It's just but now,
Let me explain. This is what happens. Look at Chris and then what he's doing. This is what happens if you have too many vitamins.
that's right.
You turn into Chris.
Not a pretty sight.
Not very good advice either.
Well,
Come on, guys. Let's bring it back to the centre. Thank you
Righto.
very much.
Well,
thank you for
very much.
questions.
and we'll sort out this John Hamerism for the next show, because we thought we cracked it with the Chromebook, which we thought had blown up the next day after we tested it, but it was actually the charger that was up the spout. And I didn't know you can charge Chromebooks on a phone charger. I didn't know that, because most of them have sort of like a brick that you plug in, you see. I've got a Dell that does that. Now, we're going to sort all this lot out, and we're thinking of getting John Hamer back on, doing it via his phone, because he's such a marvellous computer, I don't think. Anyway, this Sunday, we join, well, you join, we can all see Deb at 4 o'clock on
my YouTube channel.
And it's advertised down below here, you see. That's it. And also, if you join us next Monday, 8 o'clock, normal time, I'll be showing you how to make your own sauerkraut.
Yes.
On the top tips, I'll give it away now, haven't I? We're doing the water test as well.
Yeah.
So thank you very, very much, Miles, for joining us tonight.
Yes.
And of course, the best medicine is always laughter, unless you've got diarrhea. So there we go. So always remember, have a laugh. And actually, Miles, stay on after we've run the queues, because we'll sort something out with these phones and that. So, okay. So that's it. Thank you very much.
See you Monday.
See you Monday.
See you Sunday.
Good night.
Bye.
No, Sunday, Monday.